Ever bought a cheap 55-inch panel for your store, only to find the picture washed out and the screen flickering after a month? That's the kind of buyer's regret that makes any commercial signage purchase feel like a gamble. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you're planning a digital sign for a lobby, a restaurant menu, or a retail aisle, the first thing you worry about is whether the screen will stay bright and clear for the hours you need it to run. The LG PK340S is an 86-inch 4K display that tries to answer that worry with a few key choices: a built-in webOS signage platform, HDR tint support, and a contrast rating of 5,000:1. Those numbers look good on paper, but what matters is how they translate into a day-to-day experience for a business that can't afford a dead screen in the middle of a promotion. Let's start with the size. An 86-inch panel is a statement piece. In a hotel reception, it's the sort of screen that can show a welcome video, a weather widget, and a looping "Welcome to our property" message without looking cramped. In a big box store, you can line a wall with a single unit and let customers read product details from a distance that would be impossible on a smaller panel. The real benefit, though, is the 4K resolution. Because the pixel density is high, even close-up viewers see crisp text and clean images, which matters when you're displaying a menu with small print specials or a dashboard of sales numbers for staff. I've seen a comparable 4K sign in a corporate conference room where the data charts stayed razor sharp, and the size made it easy for a group of 10 to glance at the numbers without leaning in. Brightness is where the real-world test gets interesting. LG rates the screen at 300 nits, which is adequate for most indoor environments with controlled lighting. In a moderately lit retail space, the image stays punchy, and the HDR tint support adds a little extra pop to brand videos that use that standard. However, the same panel placed near a storefront window that lets in direct sunlight will lose some of its luma. You'll notice the whites looking a touch gray and the blacks not quite as deep as the 5,000:1 contrast rating suggests. For businesses with bright, uncontrolled ambient light, you'd be better off looking at a signage display that pushes 500 nits or more. The webOS signage platform is a double-edged sword. On the plus side, it's an out-of-the-box solution. You can fire up the TV, log into the webOS store, and grab a handful of apps designed for digital signage. Think content schedulers, simple playlist managers, even a basic web browser if you need to pull a live feed. The built-in content management system, CMS, eliminates the need for a separate media player in many straightforward use cases. A boutique coffee shop, for example, could load a loop of promotional videos and a scrolling Instagram feed directly through the webOS interface and be up and running in under an hour. On the other hand, the webOS ecosystem isn't as deep as the dedicated signage platforms you'll find on some competitors. If your content strategy relies on advanced interactivity, real-time data feeds, or a complex network of multiple displays that need to sync in a precise schedule, you might hit limitations. In my research, businesses that needed granular control often pair the PK340S with an external media player that runs software like Scala or BrightSign, effectively using the TV as a high-quality monitor while letting the third-party system handle the heavy lifting. That adds cost and an extra piece of hardware, which is something to weigh against the convenience of the built-in CMS. Reliability is another practical consideration. LG markets this model for reliable 16/7 commercial use, meaning it's designed to stay on for 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, without the thermal throttling you sometimes. For everyday use, the biggest question is not just whether LG PK340S 86-inch UHD 4K HDR commercial TV, webOS smart signage display, 300 nits, 5,000:1 contrast, HDMI, digital signage screen for business, retail, hospitality has impressive specs, but whether those specs match the way you actually plan to use it. In the television category, buyers should compare the headline features against their daily routine, setup space, compatibility needs, and how often they will use the product after the first week.